All right. So we're definitely live there. And then I got to hit this. It all doesn't happen at the same time, as you can imagine. So I'm going to go on FaceBase because this is what we do. Okay. This is how professional we are.
Yeah, I like your Rubik's Cube too.
I just got the notification that we're happening over on the YouTubes. Oh, that's great news. So we're halfway there, and there we are on the FaceSpace.
Okay.
See, if we had it in the capital budget for a productivity producer, then I wouldn't have to do all that. But you know what? We're a profit sharing company, Shannon. So here we are.
I love it.
Yes. It's a one-man fiasco. So we're on the YouTubes. We're on the FaceSpace. That's probably where most of you are going to be catching us. We're starting early, which is throwing everybody off because we were late last week. A few weeks ago, Adam didn't realize he was coming here. Pulled a little bit of a Troy Williams, didn't realize he had to drive over all the bridges to come visit me.
Yep.
But we're back at it. This is NateThology. We're episode 11 now. Shannon Casey from the Lakes region is joining us from all of beautiful downtown New Hampshire. We're going to talk about all the things. I do want to let everybody know next week we will be sitting with Dan O'Halloran. I believe he's my next victim. So he'll be coming in from the west coast of New Hampshire to join us for episode 12, if you can believe that. You're episode 11.
Wow.
Can you believe this? You know what kills me? We started with, was Nate first? Maybe Brad was first. Brad Kelly might have been first, which I guess gleans my judgment. So we didn't at first start to push these over to YouTube. So the Nate episode hung out for 30 days, then went away. So we put it on YouTube and Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg's a wonderful human being. I practice saying that. Therapy's been working for me. And he makes things disappear after 30 days if they're live.
Gotcha.
Just a heads up for
I didn't know that.
All of our social media mavens like yourself, because you do have your camera set up. I love that you got it over there.
I do.
It's not running right now.
It's not. But
we're gonna make some content later. Yeah. And if you're paying attention, Shannon, next Wednesday here in Portsmouth, the All Partners meeting is going to have a little panel. And we've got one of your dear friends. We'll talk about the four of you in a second. I know you've got your gang of thieves that you work with. Catterall's going to sit with us.
Yep.
Kate Grassie's going to sit with us. And, of course, Mike Gagnon's going to sit with us and just talk about what they're doing with social media. And you're one of the people, like me, that was a big enough dork. I'm going to grab mine because I know yours is over there. We're not going to make you get up. Here's the case. I don't want to show the sticker. If you know what the sticker is. I got to play that for you. It's inappropriate, so we're not going to play it on the show. This thing. And that's what you have set up over there. This is the little, they're not a sponsor yet, but Shannon and I would love that. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's a great little handheld camera built into a gimbal that shoots 4K video. And I have a Pelican case for it because I can't trust myself.
That's awesome. I got to get one of those.
When I'm in my kiddie pool at the compound. Anyway, so we're going to talk about content. We're going to talk about you getting into real estate, but we got to start where we start with everybody and just basically talk to me about get me from high school graduation to this conversation. And I teased this morning on the quick start, you're a townie.
Yeah.
So
I know everybody.
You haven't gone far, but yeah. Get us from high school graduation to you getting into real estate. Give us the background of the Shannon Casey.
The quick version.
We got time. We can do a mini series. This could be episode 1, whatever you want it to be. Go ahead.
So I went to Belmont High School. I went to Plymouth State college when I got done, and I say college because that's how old I am. It's university now.
Yes.
But I went there for a couple years, and I paid my own way. So I was around a lot of people that weren't paying their own way. So I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was making great grades, but I was a little lost as far as direction.
Yep.
So after a couple of years there, I just decided to step away and just work full time. And I was always, living on my own, taking care of myself. So I ended up at a few other institutions, learning institutions. I went to, the tech college and did a little early childhood education because why not?
Yep.
And then I went to Hesser and I did some criminal justice because my dad was a corrections officer for a long time. And I'm like, I could get into that field.
Yep.
So
Officer Casey. It's got a nice ring to it. I would love
yes.
that. Yeah.
So I dabbled in a few different things. I never really, knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Sure.
And then, obviously a business degree makes perfect sense, and you can apply it to so many things.
Sure.
And I was already very business oriented. And I ended up getting my bachelor's degree from Franklin Pierce University in 2010.
Okay.
So I graduated from high school in 1997. I was 17, 1997, a long time ago.
I was already married.
Yeah. And I had, I just worked so much, worked at a bunch of different places. That's how I know so many different people. And then, by the time I graduated college, I, graduated with no student loans because I paid them over time. And
what were you doing to chip away at tuition? Like you said, you worked your way through school.
I just worked and I just made, I just paid as I went.
Yeah, like waiter, waitress, bartender, all the things. I mean,
so my catering was my first job.
Okay.
I pumped gas at the local gas station and
you
sold
told me about
cigarettes
that. Yes.
in a freestanding gas station with no cameras because there was no cameras back then.
That sounds like a Dateline episode waiting to happen.
16-year-old girl. My sister worked there too. All alone at night. We closed up at 10 o'clock. I even used the dipstick to measure, how much gas
tanks,
was left and all that. But it was down the street from my house, so it was fine. Waitressed, but first dishwashed, waitressed, babysitting at an early age. And it kind of got around the neighborhood pretty quick that not only was Shannon babysitting, but when they came home, like dishes were done, clothes were folded, kids were asleep.
You were Angie's List before Angie's List.
I didn't know I was really kind of nannying and cleaning.
Yeah.
And so then I got in demand and I made big money. Babysitting. I mean, a couple $100 for a night of babysitting when these people come home and they're so happy that
because they knew that their duvet cover was going to be ironed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had 3 W-2s by my senior year in high school. It was like the gas station, the restaurant, the catering. And it's so interesting.
What was the most popular cigarette? I have to ask. So like Camel, filterless, like what were we doing? Who was?
Oh, back then.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say back then, Marlboro Reds,
sure,
obviously.
of course. The Reds are popular.
Maybe some Parliament lights.
Give me a Newport. Tell me you were selling Newports.
No, definitely Newports. Yeah. Camel Wides non-filter.
Yes.
The skater boys were smoking those.
That's what I 1,000%. I had some friends that loved Camel filterless. And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. And I convinced myself during college, I had a little dalliance with Newports.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are like, this is like, I don't know. I don't know what the thought process was.
Yeah.
I think everybody, well, there's smoking and there's smoking. But from a cigarette standpoint, I think at some point, everybody tried a cigarette.
Oh, definitely.
For sure.
Back
yes.
then.
And then my thing was, I only smoke when I'm drinking. And I'm Irish, so that answers itself. But yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Janina threatened my life. It was while she was pregnant with Aiden, and I was still in radio, and everyone there smoked. So I smoked by association. Mm-hmm. And she said, if you come home after he's born and smell like a cigarette, I'm going to kill you. And here I am, alive and well. So I just stopped. But yeah, it is funny, like now that people are doing the Zen thing. That seems to have replaced it for a lot of folks.
Yeah, definitely.
And still horrifying.
It is. So nicotine is just not good for you, PSA, obviously.
Right, that'll be on the quiz later. Write that down. Yeah.
So I do go to like a whole health hormonal doctor.
Yeah.
And they basically were like, that's the only thing that like the mice would not put down. Like the nicotine, like it's that bad. Like they'll stop using like other things, but not the nicotine. So it's bad. And
interesting.
Yeah. I'm a big ginger person. Ginger supplements, ginger chews.
Okay.
Like if you need a little excitement in your life, just have some ginger. It's great for digestion and just your overall wellness.
You're getting ginger edibles is what you're saying.
I have some in my purse right now. Just little ginger treats.
Go get one. Go get me one. I'm not even joking.
Are you serious?
Let's do a couple gingers right now. Yes. We'll see if we go off the rails. Now you're like, oh God, they're not here. Kid, this is like a clown car.
Yes. I don't have the package on me, but it's a ginger.
Are you, now listen, stay with me. Are you sure that's what this is?
Yes. Yes.
What?
Yeah. So it's just,
all right. I'm going to chew this.
No, you suck on it and just leave it in your mouth.
Am I going to taste
Enjoy
ginger?
it. Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting.
Okay.
And it also, it can get you to your next meal is, for me in the car, like I'm
I thought you said
hungry,
get me to my next meeting.
pop a ginger treat and,
Okay.
have a monster, no sugar, and
Are
you're
those
fine for like
prescribed to you,
4 hours.
or are these over the counter?
No, they're a health food store item.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if you got it from your doctor, and
No.
I was gonna suddenly have a reaction to my uterus or something like that.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll
But
see
they're
what happens.
tasty. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The flavor, at least.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I just worked a ton of places. And I think that the awesome part is that now a lot of the business that I do is with people that I worked with at all these different jobs and met at all these different
Yeah.
places as young as like 14 years old. I mean, I have something coming on next month that is a woman that I waitressed with. She was a bit older than me, but I was a kid. I mean, I was like 14 working in this restaurant, and she just called me, and she was actually in my phone as just Sue. And she called like randomly, and I didn't even know which Sue it was, right? Because like 2,700 Sues now.
Or you could label them all appropriately and then
Exactly.
tag
Well,
them
that's
for future
important too,
campaigns
yeah.
and smart
Well,
plans.
she is
Go ahead.
now.
Yes. Yeah.
So what I did was, I just put the original Sue, because like this is like a first person that I
The
ever
first
met named
Sue,
Sue
yes,
ever.
yeah.
So that's just one restaurant that I worked at with somebody, and so it's just over the years, all of these relationships from all these different jobs. I'm on the placemat at George's Diner. I worked there for a long time.
Yeah.
I see people in the street and I'm like, oh, oatmeal raisin toast guy. I remember you, like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's just been so great. And I never kind of knew where my path was going to take me, but now I'm in such a full circle place. It's like, this is so amazing that all these people are still in my life, and I have all these relationships, and stuff just keeps coming back around from stuff that happened to me, 30 years ago. It's great.
So you got Plymouth State, with all respect, college, not university yet. So PSC.
PSC.
And Hesser's in there. There's some another
Tech
community.
college.
The tech college is in there. All of those build to your first career. What are you doing first out of school? What would you, and I guess, or even not if you don't feel career, the longest stretch of employment was doing what?
So that would have been at the coffee company, but that came a little bit later.
Okay.
So, waitressing, food service, hospitality,
Okay.
My area is huge for that. I mean, most people cut their teeth in hospitality around the Lakes region.
Sure.
So I definitely did that. I did work at Cascade Spa at Church Landing, and I was the bridal spa treatment coordinator for all the brides that came in.
Yeah.
So that was fun. It's interesting because I always wanted to work as a bridal coordinator at that hotel.
Really?
Well, my stepmother was a wedding florist.
Yeah.
So that's another part of my story I didn't even say. So I worked as a young kid setting up weddings at all the wedding venues all over the Lakes region. When Church Landing started, we probably did 4 to 5 weddings on the Meredith properties alone on a weekend. Set up, take down, the whole thing. So when I got the job at the spa, I really enjoyed it, but I really, every girl wants to be the bridal wedding coordinator. They have no idea what type of personal hell that can be, because it really is. It's a hard job, but it looks fancy, but it's nights, weekends. It's a lot.
Yep.
But I never got to that position at that hotel, and that's fine, but that's what I really kind of wanted to do. But now it's like super full circle, because now I'm like at the hotel dressed up as a bride, like so fun. Being able to be there in that capacity as like part of the event. So I did that for a while. And then that's when I got the job working for the kind of mom and pop coffee company in the 2000s, mid 2000s. My boyfriend at the time was a UPS driver. The coffee company was on his route. And he just saw this coffee company like expanding and getting bigger. And he would go in there every day, and he's like, my girlfriend would be amazing working for here. She's awesome. Toted me a lot.
Yeah.
So I ended up starting there, and that ended up turning into something.
I thought
larger.
you were connecting the dots, and that's how you met. Like he was stopping at the coffee shop.
No, I met the UPS guy.
That was before you were there.
I met him because I was working at a bagel shop, and he would come in for lunch every day.
Okay.
And he asked me out every day. And I said no every single day. And then finally,
What finally broke you?
I was single for a long time. There were no other
Oh
like
my
great
God,
options.
that poor bastard. You were bored. You
I
dated
don't
him
know.
because
He
you were
was
bored.
nice enough
Okay,
and
all right.
responsibility I like.
Yeah.
So I ended up going out with him a couple times. Actually, we were engaged.
Well, you knew where he was every day. Didn't have to
Yes.
do a lot of laundry. He's just throwing on the brown shirt again.
laundry.
Yep, brown laundry.
Yep.
It's always perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Keep your distance, only right turns, like the whole deal.
Yep.
So, and my aunt worked at UPS for a long time too. So I was kind of already in like this UPS family a little bit.
Yep.
So he was nice and great and responsible and ambitious and owned multifamilies. And we lived in one of his multifamilies, and he really wanted to start a family young, and I just wasn't there.
Yep.
So that didn't work out.
Yeah.
So whatever, that's fine. But he was the transition to the coffee place.
Okay.
And then the coffee business is interesting because it was during a time, like I see you've got your Nespresso pods up there.
Oh, huge
Yeah.
fan. Huge. I mean, rarely used, quite honestly.
They're so good.
I got it down there and they're here. And I've been berated because somebody's like, well, the machine's down there, but like you keep I'm like, well, I'm letting everyone use the machine. And it's there. You can get your own pods.
Yeah, the
And
pods
then,
are.
and then I have
expensive.
some people who will swing through it, and they know that I have them, and I get the knock on the door and like, can I have a pod? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah. So we were one of the original distributors for Keurig, and Keurig was very new then.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was a fad. Nobody had heard of K-Cups. They were not sold anywhere at all. No stores.
Yeah.
So only Green Mountain was the largest distributor. Obviously, they're the manufacturer. But we got licensed as one of the first online distributors of K-Cups in the country. There was only like 6 of us, like the big 6, and nobody else was able to get licensed to sell these things online. So I kind of, I was still at Hesser when I started there.
Yeah.
And one of my school projects was Perk at Work. I came up with perkatwork.com
Handing out ginger snaps. Yeah.
For office coffee.
Yep.
So we ended up building bigcatcoffees.com was our direct to the consumer at home, K-Cup website. And then we had Perk at Work was our business, direct to businesses website for people. And so I kind of know a lot about office coffee and Keurig K-Cups and how that started. And we basically were growing at like 250% year over year. It was crazy. It was like a rocket ship to the moon. We had, it was in the early stages of websites too. There wasn't all these like Shopify didn't exist. And so it was a custom platform. And then you had your UPS integration and your Firebird integration and, everything was custom. So over the years, we evolved and we had to add this feature and that feature. So it was really cool. I kind of have a very good behind the scenes look at what it takes to run an online company. I would reconcile, 400 orders a day, all the money parts, everything. So I kind of ran that business and it was fun and it was, profitable and it was really cool to be a part of. And another cool thing is that the website developer, Crystal Bailey, who's amazing, she was the one that, built our website along with, Hexa Interactive was the company that she was at. It evolved over time. She is a website designer, graphic designer. She does everything. She's a wonderful artist. And now she has designed my logo now as a realtor.
Yep.
And she did my real estate website as well.
Very cool.
So another person that just kind of like came into the journey and we had this amazing relationship and now it's still here. So that part of it is really great too. So,
can I ask an ironical question? Do you hate coffee or do you like coffee?
Coffee is my thing.
Okay.
My grandmother.
I was waiting for you to be like, by the way, I hate coffee.
Oh no, I don't drink K-Cups. I just, I drink a whole pot of coffee at home, so I don't do those anymore. But from a young age, like my Nana gave me like Sanka or Mangram when I was like, I'm like
Fantastic.
8, like having Sanka and like toast. And so I got hooked on coffee at a young age and then obviously Dunkin',
Are you
always.
one of the psychopaths? And I'm going to open with that takes it black.
I do.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So so I drink it black. I do throw a couple ice cubes in it sometimes if it's too hot so I can drink it.
I know you and Johnny Boy are super healthy and we'll get to him soon. Is it a health thing or just you prefer
I just
You prefer the acidic bite of black coffee.
I do. So this
Okay.
morning I was taking my coffee to go and I'm like, oh, I'm going to take iced coffee to go because it's New England and it's 20 degrees. So why
Yeah.
wouldn't you have iced
So
coffee?
you just made hot coffee and left it on the car until you went out?
Yeah. So I just put the ice in there and I debated on, sometimes I put some protein powder in there. Sometimes
1,000%. I was just going to ask you.
yeah, sometimes I put some mushroom creamer in there or something. And today I was like, no. I'm like, I just want black
Straight
coffee.
up hot black coffee.
I'm going to just cold. I'm just going to drink it in the car.
Okay.
And I drank the whole thing. I love coffee. I've been to, Costa Rica coffee farms. I've gotten a ton of coffee education from being, with Keurig Green Mountain for so long.
Yeah.
I've been to a million coffee conferences in Las Vegas and Canada and watched the production of K-Cups and met so many people in the coffee industry.
Yeah.
And they're all really fun people. And yeah, I love it.
Protein, a protein coffee is so like if I make nobody asked for this, it'll be on the quiz later though. Have you seen the things that they make now that you can fill them with water, you keep them in the freezer? And I think Keurig makes one. And then there's another one, and I forget the name of it, but I got it on Amazon. Shocking, I know. And you fill it with water, and then you freeze it. And then basically when you make your Nespresso or Keurig or your straight up coffee, you take the mug, you pour it in there within 60 seconds, it knocks it down. So you're not melting the ice. So it cools it off as you go. You can actually, if you get the space, put it right under your coffee machine and it will it chills it within 60 seconds.
Interesting.
And then that over ice with your scoop of protein powder or your pre-mixed protein shake, add it in, chef's kiss.
It's good. Yeah. I mean, and I love all different types of coffee, but there are some great coffees out there that taste very high end that have like adaptogens in them and mushroom and stuff. And
there's a pretty popular place in the Lakes region that everybody raves about that. I don't know. What's your jam?
Probably Wayfair.
Yeah.
They're great roasters.
Yeah.
And they have a couple different locations, but I do. I'll buy Wayfair coffee. I will buy Woodshed coffee, which is also manufactured in the Lakes region, which we used to sell that. Cafe Monte Alto is a close friend. They actually sold their business, but their coffee comes from Peru and they're out of Plymouth, New Hampshire.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah.
Awesome.
It's good.
So what's the next step after the coffee career?
So coffee career was, it was a time when K-Cups became more mainstream.
Yeah.
So now they're in Target and Target. Now they're in the gas station.
Yeah.
Now they're everywhere. Now they're not a fad. People are like, okay, we need these.
It's very mainstream.
We went from, small orders to I'm unloading, truckloads on a forklift.
Yeah.
Like that's me. Forklift. The forklift driver, the truck guys would show up and they'd be like, is there somebody here that can unload this? And I'm like, I'll do it. And I'm taking
Were you licensed as a forklift driver?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
And I'm taking 22 pallets off, a giant truck with the forklift, stacking them up, putting them up high. So kind of doing everything, all of it. But then when K-Cups kind of hit other markets, things slowed down a little bit. We still were doing very well. We have beautiful commercial building. Everything was great. Wonderful staff. But I was a little bit bored. Started to wind down a little bit. And we had a really great person that worked in the office. And it was kind of to the point of, what's going to happen here? And I said, why don't I do something a little bit different? I can still be here, work part-time, dabble in something else. So I got into real estate and, I kind of took off with working underneath someone else that was very successful at the time. And it just kind of is one of those things that and no days is the same. You're constantly learning. It was super fun for me, especially because I was used to kind of being trapped in an office because that's when my happiness kind of dwindled. It was like, I'm behind a desk, I do talk to people on the phone, but my interactions are limited.
You want to be out in the wild.
Yeah. So I ended up, this is so fun. You get to drive around and go see these cool places and talk to all these people. So that's kind of how I started to get into it. And then eventually, the coffee business was running well enough without me. And I was making enough then that I could step away and, still on great terms with all of those people and super proud of where they've come. When COVID happened, their business shot up again because no one was going to the store. And they bought they sold that building and brought a different building in Bristol. So that business is still doing great.
That's very cool. Yeah. Very cool. So, real estate, had you thought about it before? Like everybody's got a different story on how they got here. Like I've told my story a million times. Like I had zero thought about doing it until Nate just said to me, "Come get your license and come play with me." And I was like, "What does that even mean?" And he's like, "Just got to know people. We'll figure out the rest." For you, what was the tipping point that it made sense to step in, just to trust that you would put yourself through everything else and
Yeah. So for me, it was the same thing. It was something I had never thought about, never considered. I was buying a condo for myself, and that was very interesting. And once I closed, my realtor was like, "You would make a great realtor. You should get your license." And I was like, okay, always book smart, tested well, hey,
yeah,
I'll try it,
yep.
I'll help you and see what happens. And then it just kind of was all history from there.
Mm.
And a lot of the people that I deal with, I've known forever. So it's just like the perfect kind of fruit salad of different skill sets that I've acquired over the years. And that's what I kind of tell younger agents when they're like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, I didn't know what I wanted to do either. Like,
Right.
I was like, wanted to be Vanna White. That was appealing to me. Barker Beauty. You get to model green beans and be like, $4.99. I used to do that. This is the couch.
Yep.
So like, I don't know. And then, Goodfellas came out and I was obsessed with that movie. I was like 11, probably shouldn't have been watching it. And I'm like, I want to be a mafia mistress. Like they get like a fur coat and
Yes.
they like,
Yes.
that looks fun.
Yep.
So I didn't
End
really
up hanging in the back of a meat truck.
yeah,
Yep.
I didn't
It's a great
really
scene.
have a lot of direction as far as like, I wasn't like, I want to be a veterinarian. That's not me. But I'm super glad at how things turned out. And now I can see that, I don't know if there was a plan, but
Yeah.
here I am and it all worked out.
You were with a different company, then you migrated here, and then there was a bubble where your group stepped away and you found us again. Everyone I ever talked to, when I ask a veteran agent if they were elsewhere or all the other places, then they finally get here, I always say, do you have any regrets? And usually it's about timeline. They're like, I just wish I got here sooner. What drew you back, and what do you think sets us apart from other offices?
Sure.
And why do you think it's a great place for your business to reside? Because that's something I hear all the time too, is agents are coming in and they're still shopping around. They're like, even veteran agents I know at other offices or other brokerages say, you should go to KW. It's a great place to start. And the start word gets under my skin because like yourself and all of our other top producers found it as a great place to stay. So for you, what's the staying power of KW for your business?
Yeah. So when I was somewhere else, I knew I wanted to make a change. So I just made a list of every brokerage in the area, all of the agents that I admire, who I would want to work with, at every firm. And I kind of just made this sheet of paper. I bet you I still have it, and just kind of weighed out, where I would want to be or where I could see myself. And, here.
And were we in Meredith yet?
Yes.
We were. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody was always very supportive here. I felt safe here. Nate's a person of his word.
Yeah.
I mean, he always did everything that he said he was going to do. And
there's a video of him dancing at the Stratford County Board of Realtors. You saw that? Yeah,
it was great.
I saw it. I don't know what that's doing right now for his reputation, but yeah. And he said his knees are sore today. So
yeah.
Yes,
So, I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, where am I going to go? And then I had a realization. I can go anywhere I want. I can do anything. I can go anywhere I want. Anybody would be lucky to have me, all of these people. And then I was like, where do I want to go?
Yeah.
And then, it all came back to KW of when I had left, that's part of it too. When the doors open, when people are nice, when, everybody always had my back here. I love the education piece of it. That's me. Like, I'm all about the education.
Yeah.
I listen to the brokers. I listen to Jen. That's kind of where I get all of my information, which is, pretty good. But when you do that enough, it's kind of like scripting. So I have, there's no other firms in the area that have 3 managing brokers that are not in production that you can count on, that are going to answer their phone, that are going to email you back, that are going to help you.
Right.
So for me, yes, a lot of people do come to me for help. That's not my role. You know,
Yep.
I'm not a managing broker.
Yep.
But for
But
me,
you did get your broker's license.
I do have my broker's license. But for me, I love the questions that people bring to me. So it's nice when they come to me and I'm like, I think JV would say, or I think Tom would say, or Jason would say, and I pretty much usually know. And then I direct them there to get the answer.
Mhm.
And then I always say, let me know what they said. Let me know how they handled this.
Yeah.
And then I get the education too. So
And then
that
you're
part of it's
littered
cool.
with texts that say you were right again.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, stuff changes all the time. And, you know, there's so much big picture stuff
Yep.
that it's just super interesting to get. And it's nice too to have different opinions on things too,
Yeah.
because obviously Tom's going to say something, Jason's going to say something,
Yeah.
and Jen's going to say something, and it could all be a little bit different.
Yeah, well, and to be clear too, you don't have all the answers because you went and got your broker's license.
No.
You don't have all the answers. You have access to all the answers, right? Like, and you're on top of your game because you haunt the hallways of contracts class. Like that's part of your week. That's a smart thing to do. I think people feel like they get started, they went to 3 in their freshman year, and then after that, and you know, we can create this environment of enablement because we're like, well, listen, you got 3 managing brokers, right? Then you've got Nate, you know, and on top of all that, and then you know the Mass kids have Alice. Like
She's great.
There's so much access to getting the right answer. Sometimes people feel like Wednesday's not important. Wednesday's so important because you're going over the same paperwork that we should all have memorized with our eyes closed, but you're getting the input of what happened in the last 168 hours at our market center, which does more business than most. So, you know, and I say this not to admonish the efforts of our great brokers, but they are sharp as hell because they deal with so much. There's so much traffic coming through our office. That's the benefit of them. Just like it's a fast muscle. It's a fast twitch muscle for them to be like, yep, yes, saw that yesterday 3 times last week. And other brokerages are like working on their 4th deal this year. No offense, all the offense. So it's just, we're very fortunate, super fortunate.
Absolutely. And that's why I love it so much is, you know, Monday, 1:30, Friday, 1:30.
1:30, yeah.
And then, you know, contracts, any of those. And sometimes I just listen. I don't even have any questions.
Yep.
Trying to see, you know, what's happening, what people are dealing with. And then that's how I learn stuff. And then people ask me questions and I'm like, oh, well, they talked about that. Blah, blah, blah. They already said that. You know, if you plug in and listen, there's so much that you can learn. And contract theory is my thing. I could literally geek out to contract theory all day long.
Yep.
And it's so interesting, and it gives you the edge, and it makes you the better agent. Yesterday, I was on the road. I was in Tuftonboro, and I got a contract for one of my listings in. And this was the second time she had sent me a contract, and so we were negotiating. The first one was very sloppy in a lot of ways. It was missing fields. It didn't have a deed. It didn't have a deed date. She didn't have the seller's address on there. There was fields missing, and you know she's an agent that, you know, whatever. I didn't look up her stats, but room for improvement. So anyways, so my thing is, you know, I can rip apart a contract in about 20 seconds. So I pulled over in the grocery store parking lot, pulled it up, and I was like, thank you for sending this. You know, we came to terms on the price.
Sure.
So it's just about cleaning up the contract.
Sure.
And I just went through it with her and I'm like, that's blank. You know, the deed date's blank. She's like, I didn't see that. And I'm like, it's on the tax card and it's on the deed. Like, you do it. You know, this is not, I'm correcting your contract for you day. And, you know, with some people, I would just correct it. But with her, I wanted her to do the work. Like, don't give me a sloppy contract.
Yeah.
So she filled in the blanks. Everything was great. Her language on compensation was missing gross or net. You know, sometimes I wouldn't comment on that, but I made her add it in because I wanted her to see her contract fell short in so many ways that I wanted her to get it corrected. And then in other places, I might get a contract that is lacking, but everything it's lacking is in my seller's favor. So then I don't correct anything. And I'm like, well, this actually means nothing. This is actually contradictory. This is an open-ended timeline, but it's all in our favor. So let's roll with it.
Yes.
So what you correct and what you don't correct. And then when you come from a place of, teaching and helping people, a lot of agents, they will take my recommendations. I could get an offer from a buyer agent and I
Yeah.
could say, hey, these are the things that, I would fix that are in my seller's favor. And they just go ahead and fix them. They
Yeah.
listen to me.
Yeah.
So it's not about being manipulative. It's, what is correct. And
Well, it's not about being right. It's about being helpful.
yeah,
Because if you never deal with that agent again, and sometimes you don't, but a lot of times you're probably doing business. Like if you're doing business right now with another agent, you're probably going to see them quite a bit because 20% of the agents are doing 80% of the business, right? It's Pareto principle.
And I love the OG agents that have been around for a million years. I learned so much from them.
Yes.
But that's the thing, is that you run into people.
But they can be dinosaurs too, though. They're like, I went to contracts class back during the Truman administration, and they're throwing, they're still on parchment with eagle quills.
Exactly.
That can be challenging.
It can be challenging. And then certain things like, say I'm going to write up an offer late at night, which I do all the time, and the information is wrong. I've had ones where they don't have the seller name right. It's in a trust and they got the name wrong. And like the information that they have put out, there's no deed attached. Like the information is lacking. Like I could ask that agent, well, your seller name is wrong. This isn't correct. But I don't do that. What I do, I get the right information. I do it properly. I won't say a thing because I don't want to look difficult. I want you to accept this offer. I'm not going to correct anything that you did wrong because that's not going to help anything. It's just going to maybe put them on the defensive. Like, who is this chick? She's ripping apart my work. Nope. I'll just put it in with the right seller name and whatever, and let's make a deal. Be easy breezy. But then also, fight for what is in the best interest of my client, no matter what's happening.
How do you, I think this happens across all industries. And the irony is real estate is so female dominated. I mean, per head count, if we went through our market center, I would say it's gotta be. There's no way that we have more guys than girls at our office. And, you would hear this in any industry, but like if a guy's crushing it, he's crushing it. If a girl's crushing it, she must be a bitch, right? Or you know what I mean? Like there's just always that dash or that feeling around it. Have you run into that? Do you get any of that?
I'm crushing it because I'm easy to work with and I'm nice to deal with. And that's why other agents like to deal with me. I am not difficult. I am detail oriented. I'm there. I'm crossing the T's, dotting the I's. And, sometimes people will take my word that, they're solid buyers. They're great. Oh my God, let's get this signed right away. Maybe they're not. I mean, maybe they're a little on the edge, but people trust me, and I try not to. I try to always do above and beyond, and I mean that's why I'm doing well, is because people will go out of their way to work with me on things.
Such a great point. Like you get an offer from a certain someone, and not that, like Nate always says, if you get an offer from someone and it turns out to be the offer you're moving forward with, even if you've had past history with this agent, you never bring any of that salt to your clients, right? Because they don't need to know that they were jackassed in past lives. But I love that you said that. It's just the ability to make sure that we're going to put our egos out of the way. We're going to take the emotion out of it, which is very difficult to do. But our job is to get in between the emotion.
Life is easier when you take the emotion out of it.
Take the emotion out of the contract and insert logic. That's our job.
Absolutely.
That's our job.
And that was one thing I would say that I'm still working on, but I have gotten so much better with it. And there's so much peace when this is personal to me.
I couldn't agree more.
If you're talking Maslow's hierarchy of needs, housing's right on there. So when people are like, oh, well, it's not life or death. Well, to me, it kind of is, because not only it's about people's families, it's about their stability, it's about their largest investment. So I kind of treat it like it is life and death. It's super serious. And, when you're helping somebody through that important of a stage, like, everything you do is just, when you take a step back, sometimes you internalize it a little too much and you care a little bit too much. Or not care, because I do care about the people. But when you, for instance, delivering bad news or news that somebody might not like, back in the past, newbie Shannon, oh my God, 3 hours of I got to call Pam and she's going to be so upset. And no. Like now it's just, it is what it is. You're the messenger. This is what's happened. And how are we going to deal with it? How are we going to do this in how do we want to proceed? So I don't hang on to things like I used to. And I think that that's a huge part of keeping it rolling because,
Yep.
you don't have time to dwell on stuff. It's
Right.
not your stuff to dwell on,
Right.
either.
Yeah.
So like executing,
Yeah.
no matter what quickly, is like what I'm focusing on now.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Efficiently delivering bad news so we
Mhm.
can get to the solution.
Yeah, and you just never know how like things are going to turn out, and that's to go back to the OG agents that have just been killing it. Like I get along, people know me at all different firms. Like it's people that have been in business for longer than I've been alive, and new agents that want to work with me, and I get offers and then the emails like I'm so excited to be working with you on this. And that's exciting. So it's about reputation, working hard, getting stuff done. But your reputation with other agents is, if not more important than your relationship with your clients, because if people don't want to take your calls because you're difficult or you make things worse than they are, then you're not gonna do very well, because so much of it is relationship
Yeah.
based. I mean,
Yep.
I can try to get into a house in 5 minutes and somebody's gonna give me the keypad because they know I'm gonna give follow-up information. The lights are gonna be turned off and the dog's not gonna get outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Well, I think it's difficult for an agent to wrap their brain around this moving forward. But I think clients eventually and agents quickly will understand, and we need to understand, this is where we have to park our ego. They don't necessarily want to work with you, but they want to work with the standard you've set, the expectation of what they know the Shannon Casey experience is. Does that make sense? Not that they don't want to work with you because you're party of one, but get this with lead dogs. If they have a team and they're just like, yeah, well, with the team, I want to delegate, but my clients only want to work with me. And it's like, no, like your team, well-oiled, has adopted your standard, and in your absence, they carry that standard forward. So like that's what I was going to say. When your name comes up, if somebody has you saved in their phone, not as Susan number one, but as Shannon Casey, as soon as they see that pop up, they're like, oh, this is going to be good. It's like that same feeling, like that the kind of connection we're making with our clients when we're calling them. Are you calling them once a year to say, hey, Jim, do you want to buy, sell, or invest? Or are you calling them to say, sorry, I saw your dog passed away. Happy birthday. How was vacation? And then the Pavlov dog of the bell rings and the dog salivates. They see the phone ring, your name's on it, and they're happy to be in business with you, whether they're clients or agents, right?
Yeah.
You said a while ago, we were talking, and it was the whole thing about going on vacation. And there's no need to do that because of where you have the joy of living. So like you and John, when you are off, not that you won't do island trips, you certainly do. But talk to me more about that. Do you remember that conversation we had? And it was just basically about Lakes region, and I don't need to go away. I'm not worried about going to South Kakalaka. No judgment if somebody wants to eventually retire there, and maybe you do. But you're very happy because you get to work where you play and live.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
I love it. I mean, I grew up in the Lakes region, and being a teenage girl in a small town, like, of course, when
selling cigarettes at midnight.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, I mean, you think it sucks. Like, we're night swimming, we're drinking in sand pits. There's nothing, there's no malls. Like, this place sucks.
So many people have only ever heard that because it's an REM song. I love that you just said it like it's just, we're night swimming.
Yeah. And I mean, those things, like, we had 3 fields to play in behind our house.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought that was normal. Like, we were farm to table at our house before it was like a cool thing. I thought that like, we were just farm people or whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't really see the world till I got older. And then I started traveling and I was like, where's the lakes? Where's the mountains? Like the first time I went to Atlanta, I was like, oh my gosh, like there's bugs everywhere and there's this flat and like who would live here? And just, appreciating like where I live now that I've seen the world and traveled. And, even now that I've been, to different tropical destinations all over the place. I think still I would always want to have a foothold here, a condo here, because it is the most beautiful place in the summertime.
Yeah.
And I'm not really a fun planner. I'm not going to plan any type of fun until all my ducks are in a row, which seems like is never ending, which, almost is a little bit workaholic to a fault, maybe not the best trait to have. So it's really great to have a partner like John who he will plan fun. He's like, we are going on vacation. If he didn't book it,
Yeah, I was just gonna say here comes everybody gets to meet John now. So talk about where did you guys first meet?
So we met online dating.
Yep.
It was the only Tinder date I ever went on.
You Tindered once, and he was your Tinderella?
I hit the Tinder lottery.
Really?
I hit the Tinder. Yeah. So
Johnny was on Tinder.
He just moved back to the area.
Good for him.
He lived in Portland, Maine for like 10 years.
Yep.
And he got a condo in the Weirs, and he got on there, and he would never normally do that.
Were you his first Tinder?
I'm not gonna. I don't know. I doubt it.
I'll text him later.
Yeah, right.
She was number 17. Don't tell her.
So I mean, but I had been in a long-term relationship, so I'd never been on one of those dating apps.
Yep.
So it was all new to me at whatever age I was. Late 30s.
Whatever the app needs you to be.
Yeah. So I was like swiping through, and it's like, you're out of matches. And
was he shirtless?
No.
Did he cheat code?
Absolutely
all right. Was he
not.
shirt and tie?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Was he suited? He was suited up.
Oh, I'll get into
that. Did he have like a George Costanza Seinfeld Recambier in his tidy whities?
He had a couple different looks, but no, very professional. Well, he had one picture of himself in front of Machu Picchu. So I was like, that's what's wrong with him. He's 4 feet tall. Like, he's literally like a midget.
No, he's not.
Because it was Machu Picchu.
Yeah, it's not 1,000%. Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Then, I'm swiping through, and it's all these idiots I know from town.
Oh my God.
And it would go,
it's geofencing you.
Yeah, it would go, you're out of matches. And I had to be like, thank God. It was very depressing time, actually, because I'm like, this is the selection.
Did you get swiped by a couple of the Ricky Tikki Tabbies from the Lakes region?
I'm sure I did. Yeah.
Oh, you just ignored it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like, you work hard, you have your act together, reasonably attractive, pay all your own bills, and like, I was like, this is the selection. I am horrified. Oh. And then one night, it was like 5 miles from me. This guy's 5 miles from me. And I'm like, no way. I'm like, this is spam. This can't be real.
Yeah.
He's definitely not from here.
Yeah.
No way. And we just started talking. And I remember one of our first conversations through the app was like, he was like, well, what are you doing? It was like the next day. And I'm like, well, I'm out trying to rent an apartment. He's like, you're trying to rent an apartment? I'm like, no, I'm an agent. I'm doing interviews for, so I was always talking about business. It wasn't typical Tinder.
2:30 a.m. You up?
I don't know what
you
that
up?
is.
Yeah.
You up? Yeah, it wasn't that. So after like a week of conversation, he was just like, you seem really cool. You want to meet for dinner. So we met at O's. It was actually December 15th, 2018.
Love it.
Was our first date. So, single people, going on a date a week before Christmas, I was very nervous.
Sure.
I had never really done a blind online date before.
Yeah.
My aunt a couple days before was like, what's his last name? And I'm like, I don't know.
And he's cute, but you still think he's 4'10" at this point.
Yeah, there's something wrong with him,
this.
clearly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm going to find out what that is. And so then I was like, oh my goodness, I don't even know his last name. So then I'm on the face space and I'm like stalking his profile, and I see a photo of him and a girl that I used to work at the spa with.
That trollop.
And I'm like, she was a lovely woman. She still is. And I'm like,
we still like her. Good.
I'm like, I can reach out to Sherry and find out.
Oh yeah,
what's
here we
the deal
go
with this guy. Right?
Oh, poor John. Just trying to take you out for a steak.
Then I'm on the horn. I'm like, okay, Sherry, I saw this picture of you and this guy. I'm going to be going on a date with him on Friday. Like, what's the story? Did you date him? She's like, that's my cousin. And he's a wonderful person. He's a wonderful human. He just moved back here. So he got a very good endorsement from his cousin, who's a lovely woman. So I'm like, oh my gosh, they're related and she's great. And so then I'm like, okay. So then I knew his last name. And then I'm like, okay, he's in education, seems smart, all that. So I put my aunt at ease. She was worried that I was going to be like human trafficked out of O's. Yeah.
You were going to get a skirt steak and a lobster tail and killed.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And then like the only way I could really go is if I pretended it was business, because I just
did you make him sign a broker's disclosure form?
I should have. Yeah. No, but I'm like, it's business. I meet people I don't know all the time. Worst case scenario, I'm having scallops. Like, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yes.
And then whatever the holidays.
Get the calamari.
I have this joke about the holidays. Like, I went shopping for like burgundy pants. I'm like, I don't know. It's just like I had burgundy pants on and we're going to do this. And it's the holidays. And then I walked in and he was like kind of sitting. And I was like, oh my gosh, he is like 3 feet tall. And then all of a sudden he like stands up. And I'm like, oh, okay. And
Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 5'6". I'm not like a big height person, but
Okay.
I was
How tall is Johnny?
he's over 6 feet. He's at least 6'1".
Okay. Yeah, he's a mountain.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Okay.
So, and then that was it. We had our first dinner at O's on December 15th, 2018.
Wildly nervous still?
I was so
Or were you
nervous.
at, like, did you click? Like, at what point did it become like carrots and peas? Like, I'm good. Like, I feel comfortable. And you were looking forward to the second date? Or did you guys leave not knowing?
Oh, no.
Oh,
no, there was definitely more to explore. And that's what he said. There's definitely more to explore here. And
that'll be on KWCLM Plus. There's a paywall.
So I was just kind of like, this is my first Tinder date. You know, I want to do the right thing here. Like, I think there can't be a second, third location. This is our first date. Like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So I was pretty much like, I got to work in the morning. I got to go.
Yep.
And I ran out. Like,
oh my God.
There's no hug. There's no kiss.
Poor Johnny.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know, I wanted there to be a second date.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was kind of the funny joke part of it. So we always reenact our first date every year. There was only 1 year that we didn't because we had another party event to go to.
Yeah. Do you have the burgundy pants? Do you wear them? You wear them every year?
Well, last year I wore a burgundy pencil skirt.
Okay.
So but he has a joke that he won't even pick me up. We meet there. And like that's it. He won't. No, but last year he picked me up and we did the whole thing. But for the first couple of years, he's like, no. He's like,
we're gonna reenact.
No, you can meet me there, and we can, like that's it. But it's just fun. But I wanted a second date, and I didn't want the. I don't know. It's a Tinder. I never did that before. I just wanted to go home, and I was elated after the first date. I was like, this guy's awesome.
You must tell friends and girlfriends that you went on Tinder and met one guy. And
I hit the Tinder
for
lottery.
those people that haven't noticed on camera, your left hand is heavier than it used to be.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just, we're not there yet though. You're enraged. Not yet married, right? Yes. So, and I love because all I'm thinking of the whole time is when we do coaching and you're at home, I'm like, she's still in her condo and he's still in his place.
Yeah.
You still have not.
So we're working on that. But the thing is that we love our lifestyle.
But you even joked about you guys might get places next to each other.
Yeah.
Poor Johnny.
Not poor Johnny. He's not even around. Like he travels for work. That's another thing that makes us work is, you know, he's a high powered business guy. I call him executive hot stuff. Like he carries a lot. I mean, he's running schools and he doesn't bring that drama home either. I mean, he's cool as a cucumber all the time. You know, the gym is his thing. Yep. And, you know,
I hadn't noticed.
Even tonight, you know, he's at a conference in Boston. He's overnight. He'll be back tomorrow afternoon.
Just you and Yoda tonight.
Yeah.
And you're going to be watching Apple Plus because I gave you a new show.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Friends and Neighbors. John
But,
Hamm.
you know, even last night, you know, I was home and I'm going through my deals and I'm getting organized and, you know, I'm operating at a high level. I'm doing a lot of business, like almost as much as a team would at some points. And, you know, I don't like the whole genius zone thing, but I didn't get it until like a couple months ago. And I was like, it's when it's quiet. It's when I can focus. It's when, you know, I can do the things that I need to do without distraction. Yeah. And, you know, I love that part. And I think that that's why that I'm doing well is because I love the work part. Like I'm a worker bee. Sure. I'm a little bit of a workaholic. Like I'm into office supplies and paperwork. And, you know, I almost brought my big bag up here just so I wouldn't be
Oh my God, the bog bag. You carried that into business planning clinic?
Yeah. Like I was going to bring it in here because I do need to write an offer. You know, there's things that I need to do.
Yep.
But it's like, I like that part of it. I like the organization. I was the kid. I remember like the night before school would start, like organizing the trapper keeper and the pencil box and like getting everything. Like that's me. Like I enjoy office supplies.
The fresh rip of Velcro on your trapper keeper.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember your last trapper keeper?
I think it had cats on it.
I love that. I love that about you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know.
Perfect.
I actually.
Yeah, no cats now, just Yoda.
Yeah, I actually have now. I'm going to do a shameless plug here for Tam File. You can get them on Amazon.com. They are only $20, but it has a handle. It's in the car. It's always at my hip, but they are waterproof and they are fireproof, and you can put all your stuff in there, your files for the day. Mm-hmm. And I actually have that with me the other day, and one of my clients looked at me and said, "Is that your trapper keeper?" like that, just
Love
like a
it.
joke.
Love it.
But yeah, it's about, being organized and executing and all of that stuff. And that's kind of, I like that. And I like that he has his own thing that's totally separate from
Yeah.
real estate, that, he's definitely in his genius zone doing his thing that he's passionate about. And then when we're together, it's not a lot of talking about work. It's about,
Yeah,
a
good for you.
quick catch up.
Sure.
And then it's about us and other things,
Yep.
because real estate, if it's in a lopsided relationship, it can be very all consuming for the other person because there's so much.
Yep.
So I do like that it's separated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's obviously got a ton going on with his role with the schools.
Yeah.
How much of it is administrative? Are there times that that he's at his place doing paperwork and you're doing paperwork, or does he leave most of that when he when he gets in the car and he heads home?
He is.
How much is he still working?
He's
outside of being available.
Yeah, he's pretty much on call like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But he runs things pretty well. He doesn't get a lot of phone calls unless it's a complete emergency on the weekends.
Yeah.
But he deals with stuff all the time, and he deals with it in a very calm and rational way, which is really fun to watch, because I can learn a lot from him, because he doesn't internalize. He internalizes things, but his business is life or death. These are people's lives, and these are kids, and this is their development and everything.
Yeah.
And it kind of puts in perspective what's important.
Yeah.
But he works on the road. He has staff, he has assistants, but he runs it all from, kind of like the seat of his car, because he's back and forth to all his different locations, and they're all over New England. So, I try to keep track of him, but I do not a great job of that. Like this week, I knew he had a awards thing. He was presenting. He wasn't really receiving.
Yeah.
And I was welcome to go. But, I had my own stuff going on too. So he went and did it. And it was because I didn't get the phone call till a little bit later.
Yep.
And I was like, oh yeah, like, is he in Vermont? Is he in Mass? Like, what's he doing? And then I remembered he was at the award ceremony in Plymouth.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, I can't keep up with his schedule.
How did he propose?
So I was surprised. He is not like he's not like a holiday guy. I knew it wasn't going to happen on a holiday or whatever, but I did not know it was coming.
Which I appreciate that. I'm always challenged by that.
Yeah. I did not know.
Because if it doesn't work out, and I don't mean you, but like for anybody on the planet that uses one of those holidays, you'll never, like, it's ruined for the rest of, Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, so we got to our villa, to our 3-bedroom, 2-bath, beautiful condo in Mexico on the shores of Playa del Carmen, beach, ocean view, stunning roof deck. And so we get there, and he's just checking in with the people bringing our baggage up and tipping them and all of that. And I immediately go into realtor mode, because I let him kind of pick where we're going to be. He says, gives me options. What do you think of this, that, the other thing, whatever.
Well, you said you would never do anything if you didn't plan.
As long as it's hot and warm, like, I trust his judgment.
Yeah.
So he picked this place. I think it was called the El Taj.
Yep.
Absolutely gorgeous. So I get there and I'm like, whoa, like, this is a suite. This is not just like a room for 2 people. So I go into realtor mode and I'm taking a video. So I'm like, this is the bathroom, the balconies. I go up to the roof deck with the beautiful. I do like a whole agent tour of the place.
Yes.
And I come back in, and this time, like, the bell guys left, and there's the kitchen counter there. And I'm like, this place is amazing. And I just go, I don't know how we're going to top this ever. Like, this is so great. And then it was it was like slow-mo. He was like, well, I can try to top it. And his hand went into his bag, and all of a sudden he pulls out this like wooden box thing. And then he's getting down on his knee, and I'm like kind of blacking out a little bit. I'm like, what's happening here? And he did the will you marry me on the knee thing. And, no videotaping, no other people in the room, no TV camera crew production, just us. And I was just like, yes. And then I was and then I said, have you done this before? Like, just And no, we had never, and it was just kind of, had a little laugh about that.
Sure.
And then that was it. And we had a wonderful vacation. And I did not expect it. And I was like, he was nervous to have the ring on the
Sure.
plane and hidden.
Sure.
So
Sure.
he wanted to give it to me like immediately.
As soon as possible.
So
Yeah,
he could
yeah.
just like not
Yes.
lose it.
Yes.
And then, of course, we're in a place in Mexico where we've been a few times. It's not the safest. I don't bring fancy purses. Like, we get enough attention as him looking like an American football player
1,000%.
that we don't need to be fancy. So I'm like, thanks a lot. Like, now I'm gonna get mugged. So I mean, and then so we put the ring in the safe
cut
for
off
like
by the cartel.
yeah, for like half of the vacation because I was nervous to wear it out.
Sure.
But yeah, so he surprised me and it was magical and it was wonderful.
You talked about production. You have something coming up.
Yes. So I just got my first air date for American Dream TV is December 13th, I believe. And I did my first episode on Jay's Barge Service. And they operate out of Guilford. It's like a 22-year-old guy.
Yeah.
He is the son of one of my past clients and
Yeah.
future client.
Yep.
And super nice people. And it was just really cool. So long story short, I got an email and we get so much spam email, like so much. You just don't know what's real and what's fake from this American Dream Network. And we're having auditions in Boston and we'd love for you to come. And it's for this show and it's nationally broadcasted and all this stuff. And I'm doing paperwork. I don't have time for that. I'm not going to Boston to, try to get on, that singer show or whatever. I just don't have time.
Yes.
So I didn't respond to the email, obviously. And I'm just working and I'm getting caught up on paperwork one night and I'm cleaning up my inbox and that email's in there. And I just responded, and normally I wouldn't even respond probably, but I was like, hey, I was, busy showing waterfront properties all around beautiful Lake Winnipesaukee. Sorry, I couldn't make it. If you're ever in the area, Lakes Region area, give me a shout, still, might be interested in learning more about what you're doing. And they just responded and was like, okay, you can, actually, we are having a Zoom interview, next week. What time?
Perfect.
I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I set up the Zoom. So for me, I'm always about being the absolute most prepared, best foot forward. Like when I go out places and do stuff like, I dress like a listing agent. Like if I'm at an open house or whatever I'm doing, like, because you never know where people are going to meet you and see you. So
Sure.
I'm thinking this is my interview.
Sure.
This is HGTV.
First
This is
impressions.
my big break.
Yep.
This is for me, my interview, just my one-on-one, like we're here now, right? Wrong. So I get all ready for this interview and there's power when you stand up, right? Like I'm standing. I'm not sitting for an interview because I'm professional here. Like I got my suit on. I'm ready to go. And then the Zoom world opens up.
And you got the fourth lackey from the production company.
Yeah. No, the Zoom world opens up. No, and there's like 30 people on the call. But
in their own respective
agents.
places. Okay.
From all over the country.
Yep.
Though. And that's fine,
Sure.
And it was like 3 people from the company. So I'm thinking it's my own personal interview. I've been hand selected, but that's okay. So, we're in the interview and I'm standing there and, there's not even any talking. It's all like, it's how you look and what you're just listening, really.
Yeah.
But about halfway through.
But they're looking for a vibe.
Yeah. Halfway through, I got like a message on the side that was like, we would like you to interview again after this. And so I'm like, okay, all right. And, it's not about, I was looking at the competition. Okay. And, you have to understand that people are watching you when you don't think that they are. And
they've never been Lakes Region Seacoast, Lakes Region Realtor of the Year.
Yeah. I'm standing there, at attention the entire time.
Sure.
Like, and I'm looking at the other people and they're like at their desk, like,
working.
Not paying attention.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Or, I hate to say this, but resting bitch face. Like they don't even look like they're having a good time or they're engaged.
Excellent.
It's like, who's going to want to watch you on TV if you're not even dynamic for this 1 hour thing?
But they might be doing a show that's Krabby Patty sells Pittsburgh. You never know. So that maybe that girl's like, you know what? I'm bringing it. Bringing the resting bitch face.
So what I kind of gathered with it is it's kind of all what you put into it. So needless to say, They asked me for a second interview. Then I did it. Then I was given the invitation to be involved in this American Dream Network. And what it is they select realtors from all over the country,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to choose, who you interview, where you take it.
That's pretty cool.
They send a professional TV, I make TV guy
Yeah,
that
yeah.
comes and does this whole segment. And my first segment came out amazing. I can't wait. You can do watch parties in advance of it. You get all the raw footage for, all your social medias.
Yeah.
But it's a separate thing from real estate. It's kind of like a way to interact with people.
Mhm.
And, for somebody like me, like I am not that proactive with my marketing. This is like a job. So I'm good
Yeah.
at that, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
a workaholic.
Yeah.
So it's like another job that I get to do, but it also is marketing at the same time. And it's fun. Like it was a great adventure to go out there. I was out on a barge, and it's cold out and we're delivering wood to an island property.
Yeah.
So it was so fun. And I'm excited for my next one. I signed up for 6 episodes.
Okay.
So I'm going to film my next one, coming up in December area.
Yep.
And then they air a month later.
Yep.
So it's just super fun, and I'm excited to get, to feature different aspects of the community and make it about the people that I'm interviewing. And when I first decided to do it, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like pencil skirt, perfect hair, like extensions, eyelashes. This is going to be perfect.
I'll use those if I'm trying to get the job.
Oh yeah.
Always put the
But then
extensions
my
on.
first episode, I'm on a barge. There's nothing fake about it. Like you can't do all of that. So it was the real me, and it was the me without any of that. Which
Are you
I'm
in like a
pretty natural
wax
anyway,
barn coat and jeans and like
I'm in
LL
a
Beans?
Helly Hansen in pants, but
Of course,
I mean, you can't control your
Yeah.
hair. You're
Yeah.
on a boat.
Yeah.
So I just went with it, and I was a little bit nervous because I'd never made TV before, and they wanted to do it right after sunrise because they're getting their load of wood delivered at 7:15.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a little early for me. Especially when you stay up late working.
Sure.
So it was like, this is first thing in the morning. I got to be on. I did have a cold like the week before, so I wasn't 100%. So the day before, I actually got assigned a different camera person, and I kind of was like, whoa, like somebody had an emergency shift here.
Yeah.
And it was like, so this guy Anthony's coming, and I'm like, okay, all right. So I look him up. And I'm like, this was the happiest accident of my life, because I'm going to request this guy every time. He's been making TV since like 1996. He does Phantom Gourmet. He does Mad Fisherman. He does a show on Travel Channel called The Traveler. Like, he is the guy that knows how to make TV.
Perfect.
And the other thing is too, like with the show, they're like, yeah, you can have another photographer there to get B-roll and have a hype girl and people do stuff. No. Anthony knows how to make TV.
Right.
I'm new here.
And just be authentic.
And I want it to be about the person. I don't want all of the other input, the personalities. So it was just me and Anthony. And I just said, whatever you think, I'm going to do what you think is best. And it came out great. And
Good for you.
it was awesome. It was so much fun. And I had my doubts at first because, still we get a lot of spam and we don't know how things are going to go.
Sure.
Like for the first month, I was like, did I just buy a timeshare? Like, is this a big mistake? And then you go through all this training.
Yep.
And then the other part about the training is I really liked the training because they have, weekly coaching calls on social media. All of that is kind
Baked
of free.
in. Yeah. Very cool.
And it kind of mimics the KW training, which is amazing. So now I'm kind of like on this marketing on steroids training. And, John was laughing at me because one day I was like, well, when you start marketing on a national level, you look at things differently. And I think that's what I needed. I've been in this little fishbowl for a long time, and it's like, okay, like you do think about things differently when you're competing at a national level or thinking at a higher level. So I think it came at the right time for me.
Yeah.
And it is exciting and it's fun and it's different, and they call it like a blue ocean strategy, I guess. What you're doing something that your competitors are not, and they do take on a few agents. I actually recommended someone in Southern New Hampshire for the show who's starting to do it, who is an amazing personality who we've worked together in the past. So that's somebody that I can collaborate on episodes in the future.
Mm,
So, it's not about just keeping it for me, but they do
sure.
bring on other people because, there is a cost associated with it, but also it is a lot of work. So people don't always follow through with it, or they do one
Yeah.
episode and that's it.
Yep.
So that's why I committed to the whole year, is because I'm excited. And I do have, all different levels. My first one was on, a 22-year-old guy who's been doing this awesome, cool, creative business and
Right.
out on the lake.
Right.
I do have one scheduled further down the road. That's with, a very successful, developer who's doing all these big projects. So it's all different types. I
Right.
definitely want to highlight tradesmen because they're the ones that make these houses and the world go round. And
Yep.
I know so many talented tradesmen that are basically artists,
Yeah.
and so pulling those people into the limelight and featuring them on
Yeah.
the national level. And it's like, yes, I could do the pencil skirt and, this is my $7 million house.
Yes.
And a
They
lot of
already have it. They already have a network for that.
they have that.
Yeah.
And and that can be integrated because it's a lifestyle, but it is a real estate show. You can pull that in. But to me it's more about the people and like
Sure.
how great would it to be feature, this stonemason that makes these absolutely incredible things, in these beautiful homes that, a lot of times, their work goes without recognition.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So it's fun. I'm excited about the freedom to kind of pick, what I'm doing with that.
With your business, and now you're stacking this on top of it, what's the piece of leverage that you brought in most recently that's been most helpful for you?
So I do
Because
have.
you are a solo artist. I know you hang out with Catterall. I know there's the four of you that are spending the most time together, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got agents that I work with. We have a group chat.
Yeah.
And we all support each other at Keller Williams,
Mhm.
and it's more than just four. I mean, I think
Yeah.
we're up
No,
to
I got you.
I
Yeah.
think we're like 8 people.
I'm thinking you, Katie, Nina.
Yeah, Nina's great. I work with Crystal Bullerwell.
Yep.
Anna Freitas, she's new, and
Yep.
I'm working with her. So it's
She was sitting behind you in business planning clinic,
Yeah.
and she's just watching you with the bog bag and all of your stuff.
It's ridiculous. I know. And then the guy that called me out, I think I saw some Kohl's cash. But I mean, I'm a paper person, and I think that's another reason why I stay in my bat layer is because of that. But I am doing a better job of putting things into the computer and getting rid of the
Sure.
paper, and that's very freeing to me.
Mhm.
But I am definitely a list maker. So working with all the different agents at Keller Williams is great. I do have a new transaction coordinator who's
Sweet.
wonderful. And she's great, and she's just so on it that I can on the fly send her stuff. And she's wonderful, so that's good.
What are you most excited about for 26? I mean, the show, obviously.
I'm excited.
That's a cool thing.
I'm excited about that, but I mean, this year was great. Last year, my numbers were very, very good. Last year was my best year to date.
Yep.
This year, like sales wise, I don't know if I'm going to quite get there, but I'm very competitive with myself.
Sure.
So I have, this year was awesome. My Q1s are always like pretty strong. Q4 was a little rocky, but I'm going out like a lion. I think I've got like a bunch of closings in December, a couple great ones in November too.
Sweet.
So I'm still powering through, but I'm very hard on myself. Like I'm like, life ends December 31st. What did you do? Like, how come you didn't? And then I kind of like, why don't you relax? Like you're queuing up stuff for Q1. Life doesn't end on December 31st.
Correct. Yeah.
This is all rolling.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to just keep doing what I'm doing, and maybe not be so hard on myself on the numbers and whatnot. But I mean, I am having a great year. I don't want it to be like that, but last year was pretty awesome numbers wise.
Yeah.
This year still, I mean, I'm coming in hot.
Yeah.
I mean, December is going to be pretty crazy, and that's kind of just what I'm focused on, is closing as many as I can by the end of the year. And a lot of it is like real estate Jenga. There's a lot of cash after home sale stuff going on. And it's really interesting to me, working with somebody that's cash, no contingencies, can wait. And then on the other end, I'm dealing with people that, we are strapping this together with duct tape and we're making it happen for you. And you're going to be in a new house. So that's the other part that's cool, is just helping people at all different stages and levels, and, first time home buyers, vacation people, developers. There's tons of new developments in the Lakes region area. I'm very tuned in with that. And I have a couple developers that I'm working with. New condo projects alone that I've been asked to help with.
Yep.
Super blessed and excited for that. City of Laconia sent me another email. They want me to join the zoning board, and do I have time for that? Is that going to be good for me? So that's
Are you going to decide what parts of the city young girls can sell cigarettes in, or
No.
you can have a certain
now
certain purview?
It's all about performance zoning and development and density requirements. I geek out on this. I watch.
You
this
are a
stuff
Dorkosaurus
at
Rex,
home.
yes.
I'm watching.
You're watching local C-SPAN 3.
I am
such a dork.
And zoning board meetings and knowing what's going on. Like, I know the lingo. I was down in the basement of City Hall the other day because I had this really cool old book that I let them borrow. It had a lot of old buildings in it, and they gave it back. And I'm looking around and I'm like, this is why I'm comfortable here. My living room looks like the zoning department of the city, because the tables and the bookshelves and the papers everywhere.
There's a few of you. It's you, Sue Doyle, Nola Katie. Like, if you go in, I know your condo would be just like Sue Doyle's house, which would be like Nola Katie's office over in New York. It just looked like, and if you're too young to get this reference, ask your grandfather. Barney Miller.
Yes.
When they would walk into the office and like everybody, there was just filing cabinets with stacks on top of the filing cabinets. That's your love language.
I love it. And, if I pull an old file, I love the smell of the paper. I love seeing the ink and the old typewriter stuff. I love seeing all the old names that are on stuff because I know these people.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that did the developments in the 80s, they're still at it. A lot of these developers, they're still doing projects in their late 80s. And it's like so cool, the history of it. And chain of title. I can geek out to chain of title. I have found myself at 2:00 in the morning looking and reading deeds that are not a part of anything I'm even working on. I just somehow landed on this, and now I'm involved in, the history of the building and whatever. So,
If John knew way back in the day, he would have jumped on his phone and been like, I'm coming over, I'm going to make you dinner, and I'm going to read to you some chain of title. And that would have been it. That would have been it.
Yeah, I just find it really interesting and stuff. And then again, going back to, he's a workaholic too.
Yeah.
But he can separate much better than I do.
Yeah.
And so for him to pull me out of,
I think everybody knows who the adult in the room is.
Yeah.
We're well aware.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to have fun this weekend. And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, what time does that start?
You get your bog bag full of paperwork just in case you get bored.
I do.
Such a dork.
Yeah. And then if he falls asleep in the chair, like the paper's coming out. No, but obviously there's a balance, but you know what? I've just come to determine that I find it fun. Like, there's something about
your success in the industry is obviously based on the fact that you don't. There's a thin gray line between you relaxing with Yoda and Johnny Boy and then like you actually working.
Oh yeah,
because you again, just like your affection for where you live is like, I don't have to go away to be on vacation. We live on vacation. I can just put my files down for 13 seconds and go get on the boat and be in the lake, and we're relaxing.
Yep.
And I'm also playing in a space that I absolutely love, so it doesn't it feels more like a career naturally than the job work stuff.
Yeah, certainly things will pop up that I don't feel like dealing with at the time, but that's with any job.
Yeah.
And
1000%.
if you make a big deal out of it, then it's going to be a big deal. And that's kind of the things I learned from him. He doesn't make a big deal about anything.
Yeah.
And if we're out and, we just get to a restaurant and, I'm like, I got to make a phone call, he'll just say, go do what you got to do. He doesn't care.
Yep.
So whatever I have to do,
Well, it's going to lead to vacation money, so he doesn't care. Go make your phone call.
Yeah.
Before I let you escape, I ask everybody if you could run back and sit down with you in your freshman year of real estate, or at any point in your life. If you could have a conversation with yourself, but I guess go back to when you started in real estate. What would you tell yourself? And it could be advice or encouragement, or don't do this or go through that door. What advice would you give that maybe somebody who's listening right now could apply to themselves?
Yeah, I would just say, obviously, confidence builds over time. But in the beginning, I didn't think I could really do it by myself.
Yeah.
And I kind of grew through a lot of situations where, I outgrew things quickly. And I'm such a worker bee that I don't recognize that.
Yeah.
And that's where John also, he sees talent. He manages people. He could spot, my growth before I could. And I think that when you're a worker bee and your head is just down in it, that's all you're dealing with. So, that I could do it on my own, and I didn't realize the potential that I had to even take care of myself and be independent in this business, because there was just doubts. I mean, I don't know. I've never been a realtor before. This seems fun. It's kind of interesting. Can I, being an independent contractor and, working on your own and paying your own way, is a lot of pressure. You just don't know, especially, when you're working at a company. And so that was the scary part. I guess you can do it. It was kind of like jumping out of an airplane with no parachute when I started. And then just now it's like I have the confidence now to know what I'm good at and to lean into that. And then the things that are not like Canva and marketing and all of that, it's cool, it's fun, I like pictures, but I'm not that great at it. I could spend an hour and a half working on a flyer and then send it to somebody else, and they would have all these great ideas for it. It's just not my deal.
Sure. Yeah, I get you.
So focusing on the things that I'm good at, and letting somebody else handle the things that, aren't my genius zone or whatever that is.
Yeah, I think, and you kept talking about confidence. I've always said confidence builds confidence, and confidence builds competence. And you are what we implore everyone to become as a student of the industry. Your romance novel is like paperwork from City Hall, which is ridiculous, but that's your romance novel. And you spend so much time around it. It's effortless conversation when somebody says, what's going on with that building? What's the square footage in this town?
Because you just
listen.
Know. Yeah. And I think just learning over time and giving it time. Everyone wants to get in this business. They'll be like, oh, you make it look so fun. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad I make it look fun.
Sure.
But there's all of these things that you're not seeing that go into this. And my confidence over the years growing, I remember when it was the first time I was like, yeah, I can take the dad phone call. Have your dad call me. My dad has some questions about the home inspection report.
My favorite, Fat Uncle Tony. Yeah.
And it's like, yes, please have your dad call me, and having the confidence. And then the other part too is, dealing with high powered, business people, they still need the guidance. I've worked with tons of lawyers, tons of executives, and it's really great. I love their questions because it pushes you to a higher level.
Yep.
So learning. And then I remember, pricing. I just remember, not really knowing and like kind of figuring out. And then one day it clicked, and I was like, this is a $500,000 house. This is this house, this is that house, and just like at all different levels. And then that came in really handy with the whole COVID thing. And like, okay, we're going 50 up, we're going 50 down. Like, this is where it should be, but this is not the market. And it's not black and white, and it's not a science, but it's just like learned over time stuff. So, it takes a while. So give it time.
I think you win the extended remix. We are closing in on an hour and 22 minutes.
No way.
I knew we would be talking. Well,
I was gonna have...
we kicked off before 11 o'clock, and I said to my wife, I said to Janina last night, I'm like, so Shannon's coming in, and we're both Tacosaurus Rexes. So this is going to be fantastic. Thank you so much for hanging out. We have the Shannon Casey here, episode 11 of NateThology. We're wrapping this up. Next week, we've got Dan O'Halloran coming in for episode 12. Shannon Casey, if somebody needs you as a referral partner, or they want to work with you, or they have any questions about your greatness, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Just call me anytime.
Okay.
Just call me
What's
anytime.
the number? Give them the number.
603-630-3343.
Perfect. We will see you on the internet. We'll see your show what day?
December 13th. And I will do some advertising for our first watch party.
We'll have all the stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, my dear. Have a great day. Bye.